over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Welcome to Wheel of Horror Sci-Fi Summer, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses a sci-fi movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1986 film Aliens, which was directed by James Cameron. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm sick, Eric.
Eric, you're so sick.
I got bronchitis, bro. Hey, can I say one thing before we get started? If I could go back to my kindergarten, first grade years, and they ask you like, "What's your favorite candy?" I would say Luden's cough drops. Now,
What?
you have you ever had Luden's cough? Here, I got them right here.
Is it Luden? Oh yeah, I've seen
These
those.
suckers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Really?
delicious.
Wild cherry, that's your flavor of choice?
That's my favorite candy
Oh
now.
my God.
That's my favorite candy.
Yeah, man. Ain't nobody got time for that. You got bronchitis.
It sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna be coughing quite a bit, but I'll try to mute my mic as much as possible.
All right, well, picking up. Now we're talking about potentially one of the greatest sequels of all time. Definitely up there.
This is probably up there as like in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Wow. All right.
I love this movie.
So you definitely like this one more than Alien?
Yes.
Whoa, not even
I do.
hesitation.
No,
Yeah,
I 100% do.
they're like two very different movies. We can talk about that later, but they're both awesome in totally different ways. But like this sequel, it just got the James Cameron treatment, and he just fucking takes it. He makes it. I love how he does sequels because obviously with Terminator, like that's his own movie that he was going back for. But for this one, he really respected Alien when he came on board for this.
Yeah, he did. If you read up about it, to get this off the ground was really hard. Like how much investment he put into this, because he was making Terminator, I think, right before this, and Terminator gave him like the firepower to direct it. Because before this, the only thing he directed was like Piranha 3 or some shit, Piranha 2. But he literally, the story is he went into like the pitch meeting and he had Alien on a whiteboard, and he walked in and had an S on it, and then he made a dollar sign out of the S. He's like, "I'm telling you, it's gonna work." But it's like, dude, you got to be careful because this is a career-ruining move. You're not going against, but following up Ridley Scott and
Yeah.
a loved movie.
Mhm.
You could easily be just completely criticized before this movie hits the box office.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I didn't know about that pitch meeting. That's actually hilarious. Yeah, man. I mean, he did have a lot of courage going into this and a lot of just like, I know this is going to be successful, but he did it justice where it's very different from the original. It's much more action packed, but it expands on what Ripley had gone through. Like, I love how it picks up immediately where it ends, where the first one ends. You've got the cat and her in hyperspace. They find her. You're like, oh, sweet. Like, what's going to happen? Then we find out it's 57 years in the future.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, so we're just following Ripley's story now. This is not going to be a continuation. Like most of those people that she was going to see are probably dead or retired by this point. So now it's like, okay, we're just following Ripley now. What's next in her story?
Well, I mean, there's the extended cut. I don't know if you saw that one or the theatrical cut. Which one did you watch?
I watched the one on Amazon, so I was 2 hours and 17 minutes.
So yeah, she's been in sleep for 57 years, like you
Right.
said. I almost said minutes. 57 years, and her daughter passes away.
Mhm.
I don't know if they show that in the theatrical one.
I know what you're talking about. I have seen that scene. And
Yeah.
there's a little bit of trivia for that scene, but go ahead and explain it.
Sure. So there's a scene where that Burke guy, who's like the slimy ball he is like, "Your daughter died, but she didn't know you were," and tries to like smooch up on her, shows her like an old picture of her. But what was your little
So, the woman in that picture, do you know who that is?
Sigourney Weaver? I have no idea.
It's Sigourney Weaver's mother.
No way. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they got a picture of Sigourney Weaver's mother. It's like, okay, this is gonna play your daughter, who is like, gonna be in her 70s or whatever, just like
I
Sigourney
think
Weaver.
she's dead in the story.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so that adds a layer to Newt and why
Right.
she cares about Newt, because she has this
Yeah.
motherly instinct that, I mean, it's out of her control. Like her daughter is gone only because she's been sleeping for 57 years
Mhm.
and she has no daughter. So she sees this opportunity as find a kid again, and she falls in love with this kid because she knows there's no one else for her.
Yeah.
Everyone she knew is gone. And also, I love the scene where she's getting like completely pointed finger at her. Like, you blew up this ship. You cost us $1 gazillion. I always love that, like, they can bill me line. I love that line. I use that
Dude.
once in a while.
Sigourney Weaver is like, dude, she got nominated for Best Actress in this movie.
For that, I think she deserves it.
Yeah, dude, she's so good in this, she's just so sick of everything. She's fed up with corporate bullshit, and I love it. She's like, "I've experienced firsthand what these fucking things can do. There's no scientific research. We're blowing this shit up." And they're all
Yeah.
like, "Well, it costs money, blah, blah. You have to understand." It's just like, look at it from our
Meanwhile,
point.
meanwhile, they're showing a PowerPoint of all her friends that
Yeah.
are 57 years dead.
Who've
You
been no,
know,
no, in her mind, have been dead for like a day.
a
Yeah.
minute, exactly. So it's like it's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's so smart, man. And then for them to go back to that planet. So that's why, like James Cameron, he's like, we're not going to forget the past. We're going to continue this story and we're going to take you 57 years in the future with this character who's like, all right, let's see what happens then. Let's see if you guys actually can control these aliens. And then we find out that they're actually experimenting on the aliens down there and they broke out and have killed everybody. So, like, all right, I want to ask you this then. Do you think that Paul Reisner, that Burke guy or whatever, and this whole corporation, do you think they know about this? This is all some bullshit because they're like, well, the transmitter got knocked out, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
Well,
okay. And then,
that's the kicker to this movie is the timing of it. So you got to ask yourself, one, is it believable that 57 years exactly they find the ship and they have this group of people like stationed there trying to change the atmosphere of this place,
yeah,
this planet, and just so happens that at the same time Ripley wakes up, they discover the face huggers again or the eggs again, and there's an outbreak right then and there, and they lose transmission. B, as a viewer, you think this doesn't add up. They found Ripley's ship the same time as this. So were they looking for her? Were they doing experiments before they found Ripley? It's like it's almost the timing's too perfectly coincidental for it to be we found Ripley, there's an outbreak of alien eggs again. It doesn't add up in my book. And I think that's what it is. It doesn't add up. It's like they found Ripley, but they've been experimenting with those eggs for a while.
the only thing I can think of is that Ripley's a loose end. And they're like, okay, it's like they've known about this for a while. She's now a loose end that they were not expecting, who's come back. It's like, I'm going to expose all of this. So they're like, why don't we send her down there? And we'll just
Yeah.
fucking, and that'll be it. And then Burke, you go down there with her, you take one of these alien specimens back with you, and we'll do experiments up here because they've obviously outbroke. They've like, they were doing experiments on the colony before. They broke out and killed everybody. So they're like, shit, all right, go down there, get one of them, bring them back, and then bring Ripley down there, have her die down there too. Dude, I feel like that has to be it. There has to be like an extended scene where like that explanation happened for it to kind
I'm
of make
trying to think.
sense.
I actually watched the theatrical version this time, so there
Yeah,
probably is. I just
maybe.
can't remember.
But that gives a good justification, to be like, she's a loose end. Get rid of her. Bring her down
Yeah.
there.
How do you get rid of her? Well, you send her back to the aliens.
Yeah, and the fact that she's willing to go, because they do say like, "Oh, you've been working in the docks or whatever on this ship that she's on." So it's like some time has passed between her getting woken up and her going get back to the planet. There has been maybe months. So they're discussing like, how do we get rid of her? Like if she starts speaking up, maybe there's other scenes where she's like, "I'm gonna fucking expose this shit," like going crazy.
Well, there's that, and like I'm sure the insurance in that year is pretty crazy, and she's an insurance liability because she's gonna come out and say, "I warned everyone, and they didn't listen," and it's like,
Yeah.
shit. Now we got to get rid of her.
Dude,
That's what.
it's this whole movie's basically just about corporate greed. And it's like the
Oh,
person
100%. Well, that's what
doing
Avatar is too. Like a lot of James Cameron, like Terminator, corporate greed. Like they're
yeah.
making robots and not thinking about what could potentially happen.
Yeah, but like this specifically, it's like they know the dangers, the danger already exists. They have the ability to stop it and they don't care. So,
Yep.
and the androids too, they're even just like, "Oh, the A2 models always were a bit finicky," sort of thing. It's just like everything is more of just about like, okay, somebody died, but like whatever. Like, oh, that was the old model. This is the new one now. I gotta say though, man, Bishop, I think he's my favorite character. It's interesting because he wants to be a part of the group. Like you believe he's a human, like
He
does the
he has
hand
this
thing.
Yeah, he has this look in his eye that's like, "You guys are so stupid with your short lives," and he has this
Yeah.
like attitude about him that I like.
Well, he influenced that David character in the Prometheus movie and the Alien Covenant like big time. You can just see it
Yeah,
in him because he does have like he wants to get the amusement out of the people when he does the knife thing. Like he's doing it so that they can like get entertained and like why
but he has this like "you peasants" kind of attitude, like
yeah. But I love
he's like,
how he
"You get
completely.
entertained by this? This is nothing to me."
But dude, that when he saves her at the end, he's just like, "Bishop, you son of a bitch!" Like because she's like thinking he's an android. He fucked me over again, and then he comes up
Yeah,
and saves her, and I'm just like, oh
it goes full circle. Like she
yeah,
hates androids,
yeah,
rightfully so. Like rightfully so, and then it
right.
goes to him saving the day and also saving Newt at the end. He like grabs her, remember?
Yeah, yeah, she's like,
So
"Bishop!"
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's like
and
he's a good android.
and
Like,
coming full circle for us, this is, kind of the budding of Pumpkinhead because
Lance Henriksen, yeah.
well, because Stan Winston did all of the special effects on the Xenomorphs. He's the one that did that, so guarantee he's on set doing the Xenomorphs, and all of a sudden he's, hanging out with Lance Henriksen. He's like, "I'm gonna direct my own movie in a couple years. This guy might not be too bad."
Yeah, you seem like you're good to work with. Would you wanna do Pumpkinhead?
Yeah, but seriously, it's 2 years later, Pumpkinhead comes out, and the guy that did all of the special effects for this movie, Lance Henriksen, I'm just
You
saying.
know I love Pumpkinhead. You know I
Yeah.
love some Pumpkinhead, so, yeah, no, that's just the timing's great, so and I
Yeah.
mean, this handshakes well with, Terminator 2 and, like, the sequel idea of James Cameron. This sequel is definitely before Terminator 2, but you also have the strong female woman switch, which goes from, like, Ripley which happens in Alien,
Oh, yeah.
where she goes from, like, this soft female to, like, hardened at the
Right.
end of the movie, but also at the end of this movie, it's, like, double down. She's, like, Super Saiyan 2 hardened woman, and Linda Hamilton, same thing in Terminator 2. Goes from someone weak who at the end of the movie is saved from the one Terminator
Yeah.
to Terminator 2, like straight up badass with guns, which is the same character
Yeah.
almost.
And I love too, in both of those movies, Michael Biehn is, like, out of commission for the final fight.
Yeah.
He's that final fight is so awesome when she and I love how it foreshadows it in the beginning when she's like, "I know how to do the loading
Yeah, they
bay," or
got a
whatever.
stage 4 license or whatever she I forget
Yeah.
what it is.
And then later in the movie, she beats the shit out of the queen with it. It's so dude, favorite line in the whole movie. I know everybody loves the "game over, man" line,
I have
but
multiple favorite lines in this movie,
dude,
but go, keep going.
my favorite line in the movie is, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like, that
Yeah,
line is
iconic.
epic, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, like, one of my favorite lines, like, ever.
Yeah,
What are yours?
I mean, honestly, like, I like the lines that no one cares about, like, they can bill me. I like I mentioned that one, but also,
Yeah.
like, when Vasquez goes, "All I need to know is one thing, where they are," and,
Yeah.
like, points the gun. I love that line. I mean, there's so many in this movie, like
Uh, Really quick about Vasquez, you ready for this? You know who
yep.
Vasquez is?
No, not off the top of my head. Wait, she
Janelle in Terminator 2,
Janelle and Terminator 2.
his stepmom.
No shit. I never knew that.
Yeah, she is not Hispanic.
Wow. Didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah, she's also in Titanic. She's one of the mothers. She's one of, like, the Irish mothers on the board with the
Oh my
kids.
god, I know exactly the one that reads them a bedtime story when they're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
"Dude, I didn't even what?" My mind's taking laps right now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because yeah, dude, they literally her name is, like, Jeanette Goldstein, and they just made her into
Like James Cameron's Lucky Charm.
yeah, but I was just kinda blown away because I was like, "Wow, that woman is not Hispanic," and it's like, "Vasquez," and she just yeah, I don't think you could do that nowadays.
Nah, definitely
But
not.
but isn't
I
that
was
crazy?
that's, I didn't never knew that.
I didn't know until this time either, and then I watched it and I was like, "What is this one? What else has she been in?" And then I'm like, "Wait, she's the step." I'm like,
Wait,
"She's white." I was like, "What
she
the
plays
hell?"
an English woman and or Irish woman in Titanic, like,
Yeah.
that doesn't add up.
I
That
was like
doesn't add up.
I was like, "This is crazy." Yeah. But it's just 'cause it shows you, like, back in the '86, like, they literally darkened a woman's skin, had her pretend to be a different race, and it's just kinda, like, overlooked. It's
Gave
kind of
her, like,
sad.
an accent.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, big time.
It's like, you can't do that more than anything, but
Yeah, I think yeah, but anyways, I just thought that was interesting that they played both of those, like, you would never expect that to be that woman again.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
like you just connected those dots in my mind. Also, I mean, I love Bill Paxton in general in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
just seems like he doesn't belong in the military.
No.
Um, like when he's like, "Oh man, this floor's freezing." It's like, dude, you're in the military. You can't be complaining about cold feet right now.
Well, dude, when his lieutenant or his sergeant, whatever, after the whole meeting, he's just like, "Hudson, get over here. Get over here."
I love that, like the double. Get over here.
Yeah,
Get over here.
he's, like, so pissed off. But let's talk about that Crawford character or whatever his name is, Con or Corman. Gorman.
Gorman,
Yeah,
yes.
dude. So, like, I love his character because he's like a corporate guy, but he's a military guy who kind of makes the bad call, but he's inexperienced. So it's like he has a lot going on. He's an inexperienced guy. Maybe it's like a product of nepotism or something.
He's by the book.
He's by the book. Yeah, you're right. And Ripley kind of comes in and she's just like, "You need to do something, like save them, get them out of there." And he's just like, "Well, that's not the protocol or whatever." But then he does kind of come full circle at the end a little bit, you think, right?
Wait, he sacrificed Gorman
Yeah.
sacrifices himself with Vasquez in the tunnel.
Right. But because Burke's the complete scumbag. Like he's the one.
Burke's a slime ball.
Do you think
Who's
Gorman knows about this?
I think he has to, but it's classified. It's like it's classified, but I'm still being sent out here. I know what it is, but I'm so by the book that I gotta act like I gotta do my role. That's what I think it is more than him double crossing people.
Hmm. Yeah,
If I had to
so
guess,
but
yeah,
then Burke fucks him over when he
yeah.
locks the door, so then I think at that point, he's just
Oh, it's
like, "Alright."
classic.
He's like, "Screw all
Classic
this."
lock the door and like, I survived. And then right
Yep.
behind you, dude. What's right behind you? Yep.
Yeah. Burke I think Burke's the biggest bad guy in the movie, basically. I mean, he screws everybody over constantly. He's, like, charmingly evil, I guess, but
Yeah. It makes you think about what it's gonna be like when, they go into sleep to go back to Earth finally.
yeah.
At the end with Bishop like all messed up.
Mhm.
What's it gonna be like when they land? That's what I think about. Like it's gonna be like insurance, nightmare, probably news, probably this, probably and then they're gonna have to explain. But everyone on that ship, including the little girl, as a witness, is gonna be like, this happened, and
Yeah.
they're gonna oust this corporation so bad.
You know what
Um,
happens, right?
I've never seen 3.
Are you ready f do you want me to ruin this for you?
I remember there's a clone of
Alright,
Ripley
let me
in
explain. You ready? Dude, this is
Resurrection.
this is the one of the biggest slaps in faces to this movie is the way the 3rd one starts. You ready for
See,
this?
kinda tell you before you do,
Yeah.
why I never watched 3 is because so many people said, "You love aliens, don't watch 3."
Yeah, just stop. But no, I've seen all of them, and it's really sucks, man. So the way that Alien 3 starts is ship crashes on a planet that's like a prison planet, and it's all men, and they all have shaved heads. It's like Antarctica, basically. And
Mhm.
lucky that she lands there, first of all, right next to this installation. But what happens is everybody dies except for Ripley in the crash. And they're like, "Oh, the little girl died. Oh, that guy died. Oh, your android's like basically fucked up." And Ripley's just like, "Okay." And that's where it starts. And it's just like they forget everything basically. They're like, "Well, you're on this prison
Well,
planet," and blah blah blah.
I'm glad I never watched that, so
It's
I'm gonna stick with
so
my idea of her getting back to Earth and raising Newt.
dude, it's like Newt dies, Michael Bean dies, I think the cat dies, and then Bishop is like he's fucked
They
up.
kill the cat too?
I can't
Jesus.
remember if the cat dies, but I know Bishop. I mean, I know that everybody else dies, and then
Couldn't afford the cat's budget.
no, but then the one scene, and we'll go back to this movie, but the one scene is later is Ripley jacks into Bishop and is able to like pull him up, and he's like, "Hello, Ripley," and it's like all like fucked up, and he's able to talk to her about like what's going on a little bit and how the alien got on the ship and shit. So I think what happened is the Queen alien, when she got into that landing gear, must have laid an egg on that ship, and then it got out. Yeah. It's
Okay.
bullshit. It's such bullshit though, dude. You're like, I want to see their story. I don't want to see Ripley now just like, okay, and they're just figuring it out now. It's like you had a
I
perfect
mean,
setup and they just dropped the ball.
you kinda have to do that because the planet blows up, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Well, not the
remember.
planet, but the installation, they nuked it, to be safe,
Yeah, okay,
just to be
yeah.
sure.
It looks like the planet's gone when they're leaving, but,
No, no, no.
yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, do we want, like, an action movie of the thing crashing, or do we want, like, lawyers and everyone involved for, like, a 10-year legal battle between the corporation and Ripley and Newt, and Newt's a minor, and so the case gets tossed, and then the case gets brought up, like, do we want a
No, no,
movie
no, no,
about
no.
the
No, I don't want that, but you know what? I want those characters to survive, and it's okay if Crash lands on this planet, but it needs to have those characters there. It's like we set up this whole thing, and then you just kind of throw that away, and you just keep only Ripley to then deal with whatever's happening now. Have Michael Bean be there.
how do you kill off Hicks?
They killed off everybody, dude. The Newt, they set her up. Like, she's the second build actress in this movie, and they just kill her, and they're like, "Yeah,
And, like, that's so not a sequel in my mind.
yeah, dude." I mean, like, but anyways, forget that movie.
At
Let's
least Aliens kept the 2 characters at the end of the movie, Ripley and the cat.
yeah, it's true. And the movie Alien and Aliens kind of been similar where they're like, escaping an explosion and like the lights hitting their faces and they're just like freaking out, not knowing if they're gonna survive or not, and then they make it. You're like, ah,
Yeah, but you get, like, this attitude of, like, big happy family because it's like, I can see
yeah,
Ripley and Hicks together and raising Newt and their cat, and
right?
the cat has a litter, and they have this bishop waiter guy helping, like, serve lemonade, and it's all nice, you
Yep,
know?
that's what we all wanted, but then this third one was like, nah, fuck off. It's funny too because David Fincher directed it, and he did Seven, and he's gone on to
Mm,
do Social Network and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He's had a good career, but this movie, I think he like pretends this movie didn't happen because he said like the studio interfered so much and blah blah blah.
yeah.
And but
Well,
anyways,
I read about Ridley Scott with Alien, and they didn't want him to come back for Aliens if there ever was a sequel, which there was going to be. He was very hard to work with because he had a vision, and his vision they kept tampering with it, and Yeah, very hard to work with though,
Huh,
from
it's
what I
funny
heard.
they brought him back though for Alien or for Prometheus, and I think he did
Yeah.
Alien Covenant too. But a couple things I want to talk about in this movie to pull it apart a little bit, dude. The scene when she hits that eject button and the alien goes out and it's got her leg and it's being pulled out into
Oh, your
space.
leg would just completely
Dude,
go.
everything in that room would
Everything.
just be just all sucked out in 1 second. It wouldn't even, and she's like pulling her body up with the alien on her leg, and I was like, okay, all
Yeah,
right,
it's like Tom Cruise hanging off a plane in Mission
yeah,
Impossible. It's like,
come on,
come on. No one's gonna hang off a plane. Like, you've been tubing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like tubing with like a boat going 15 miles an hour. That's hard enough to hold on to.
yeah.
Like, could you imagine space probably traveling at like
Who
800
knows?
miles per hour with an alien holding on to your leg? Your leg is gone.
And not even just a regular xenomorph, the queen
Yeah, like the
xenomorph.
big kahuna.
The
Yeah,
big one
like
that has to, like, rip her womb out of her, like, body. Dude, that scene was brutal when she, like, tears the sack off of her, like, body. She's like, "Ah!" Like, pulls it off. You're like, "Oh god." But she's pissed, dude.
Well,
Oh,
Ripley destroyed the
I
sack.
know. Okay, so
Like,
that's it. That's what I wanna ask you too. Why did Ripley do that? They were gonna nuke that site anyway. She should have just been like, "All right, listen, Newt, just slowly back up. We got all right, you cool? You cool? We cool? We cool? We cool?" And just keep saying that until you get out of sight and be like, "All right, let's go, let's go, let's go." And then if she sends him after him, then fucking light him up or whatever. But regardless if you guys make it or not, that installation is getting nuked. Is she that like she has to kill
revengeful,
him that
vengeful.
bad?
It's
Come
vengeance.
on.
You know why? Because that could be the same queen that laid the eggs that killed all of her crew too. We don't know how old that queen is, so it's
Or
probably a big vengeance. Like, I'm gonna kill you and your baby egg.
is it worth that
Well,
though? Like,
Ripley probably should have thought in that moment when she has a flamethrower in her hands, no, I shouldn't flamethrow this egg. I should leave because this thing's gonna get nuked anyway. However, thought processes, the time, the stress she was under, she didn't think clearly. So
she's like,
she made a poor decision that ultimately she solved at the end of the movie.
yeah. Well, I think that's the first time we ever kind of see a conscious in the xenomorphs where the alien kind of, the queen looks and she's just kind of like, okay, okay, I see what's up. I see what's
And
up.
she cries. Her eggs are all burnt.
Yeah. So you see, they're not just kind of like completely bug, mindless aliens. They do kind of have a little bit of, I don't know,
Did
strategy.
did James Cameron introduce the venom blood?
No, no, no. Acid
The
blood?
acid blood, that
No,
was in the first one,
no.
right?
Yeah. Oh my
That
God.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely okay, okay, I thought so, I thought so.
Yeah. Okay, so if the acid blood clear, okay, we get it. If you cut them, then it'll burn through whatever. But like when they pin Newt to that wall or whatever, what is that stuff? Does that not burn? Like, she's like pinned up against the wall with her saliva or whatever, but it's like, isn't that gonna make her skin burn?
No, because the aliens do that on purpose because they want you as, like, an incubator, so they don't want you to die. So they
Yeah.
use, like, a web or something to keep the humans alive.
Yeah.
They don't wanna kill the humans, they want them to make they hold the eggs and
You think
whatnot.
they're that conscious though, where they can be
Yeah.
like, okay, so these guys' skin will burn if we have the blood touch them, but their skin won't burn if we use like our saliva spit shit or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's, like, there's animals that kinda have that too, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it's just it's disgusting, man. Like, dude, that scene where the woman is like, "Just kill me," or whatever, you're like, "Oh god, that is
yeah.
brutal." That's, like, worse than even in the first one where the guy's stomach explodes because you know what's in
It's
her.
very nightmare fuel, you know?
Yeah.
It's scary to think like, "Oh, man, imagine just being, like not only having one of those in your body, but being, like, held up against the wall, kept
Oh
alive." And
god.
it's terrifying.
Yeah, that's the worst. Another little quick thing, you know how, like, the whole reason they're like, "Alright, get the guns out of there, they're under, like, a thermal nuclear whatever." It's like, if we shoot bullets, it'll blow up. They shoot, like, 1,000,000 bullets.
Yeah, you think like, "Hey, that could have been blown up," like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
take the bullets away, and then Vasquez and the Drake, I think his name was, they're like, "Fuck this, man. Let's keep a couple bullets or whatever." And
Yeah.
then and then literally they shoot it, and they're like, "Who's firing down there?" It's like, "Well,
Well,
nothing
yeah,
blew up."
they make that warning, like, "No shots, like, gotta use the flamethrowers or gotta use this, like, 'cause if you
Yeah.
do, it's gonna blow up." And then, like, the aliens show up and it's like, "F this," and it's
Yeah.
like, did we ever go back to that, like, "Hey, by the way, next time, don't shoot," like
Yeah, they never brought it up again. They're like, "Well, I guess we got okay. I mean, pretty
Yeah, so it
lucky."
seems like it worked.
Yeah, and then the prototype for Christopher Nolan's Batmobile is definitely from this movie.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that tank is epic. You can get through anything.
And, we have Super Troopers on the wheel. I think Super
Super
Troopers the
Troopers?
not Super Troopers,
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Good. Starship Troopers is a book that I
Uh-huh.
think also inspired this movie.
Really?
Yes, like, can we look this up as we're talking about it? Because I read that.
Starship Troopers
Starship
came out
Troopers.
that long ago?
Think so, and, like, that's where they make, like, the, "Oh, is this another bug hunt?" like, joke.
Oh,
Let's confirm it.
1959. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and so look, Cameron created a backstory for each Marine and instructed the actors to read the novel Starship Troopers. So clearly that was an
Oh,
influence for this. And Starship
wow.
Troopers is also on the wheel. Before we had Men in Black, we replaced it with Starship Troopers. Justin Williston's going to be on that one. He could be the next spin. We'll find out later at the end of this episode.
Wow.
Exciting stuff. Stick around. One more thing before I forget, the acid blood. They have Ripley do this whole debrief. Remember?
Yeah,
Where
in the
she's like, "Oh,
beginning,
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you what I know. I know that like this, our friend went
Yeah,
in there and she should have brought that up. Like, don't shoot him
she
because
did.
acid." She did. I don't remember her
Well,
saying that.
here's the thing, Burke, with the right when they walk into the installation, they see the grates with all the burn marks or whatever, and then Burke just looks at her and he goes, "Acid blood," and she just, like, nods back at him. So she did tell them about it, but
Not at the debrief though. She
I
should have
don't
at
think
the
so.
debrief.
Yeah. The other thing is they don't tell the Marines anything. They're like, "So what is this bullshit?" Basically. Like, they never fill them. Why would these guys agree to do something they have no idea what they're walking in? I mean, maybe they don't have a choice, it's the military, but
I think they've dealt with aliens before, but like not like scary ones. From what it sounds like, another bug hunt. Like it sounds
Yeah,
like they've been in this scenario before, but not with a xenomorph.
yeah.
But that scene where she gives the debrief is like really good acting, I think.
Yeah, oh,
She
yeah.
comes up like facing a whole squad of Marines and very timid and nervous and is trying to explain it. And Vasquez interrupts her, like, I just need to know where they
Yeah.
are. And so I guess she's like, okay, I guess these guys have it under control and I'll just shut up. But by the end of the movie, it's like, no, now I'm in charge. And I like that about this movie.
Oh my god, dude. Her acting is fantastic. Well, she
Yeah.
yells at them too. She's just like, "'Cause one of those things was able to kill me in 24 hours." It's just yeah, she really dude, fantastic
It's a good
performance.
movie. It's a good movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love this movie, and the one like they mostly come at night. Mostly like love all this, and it's really original. Like the radar or the sensor noise,
Oh, yeah.
the noises the guns make. I love it all. Like
Yeah, it's really it's scary, but it's more action, because the first one's definitely more like it feels like a scary slasher movie in space, basically, where this one is just like full on action, but it's also fucking scary. I remember the scene where Michael Bean, they're like, "He's right here, man. They're in the room with us, man." And then all of a sudden he like peeks up in the ceiling. That's a scary shot where they're all
yeah,
crawling.
yeah. I read something. I don't know if this was James Cameron who said this. Is like Alien is like a haunted house, whereas Aliens is like a haunted roller coaster. It's like crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that it really is. It sucks that, the series, I feel like, had so much potential, and then it just dropped the ball with 3, and then Resurrection was stupid, it was out of
I
control,
did
and
see Resurrection more than I saw 3. I've seen parts of 3, and Resurrection's like a clone of Ripley, and they
yeah,
go to that room, and like there's that like kill me scene of like this like mutated Ripley clone.
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
so stupid.
it's not good. Prometheus was okay, Alien Covenant was okay also, they were, like, really pretty movies, but they're just, like they lack the same substance, I feel like, as this one and an Alien.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of Alien versus Predator too. The only good part about that movie was Lance Hendrickson reprising his role in a prequel to all these movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, did they get him for like Bishop? Like, is he like a prototype?
Oh, you want me
Like,
to tell you? Yeah,
I
dude.
think so,
So,
right? Yeah.
well, in at the end of Alien 3, as she's about to like leave, she's like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here." Then all of a sudden, Bishop just walks in the door, and she's like, "What the hell?" And he's just like, "Hi, my name is like Mark Wayland or whatever." And so he's the
He
guy that,
owns Wayland, the Wayland Corp. That's
yeah,
it. That's I knew that. I knew that.
and that's at the end of Alien 3, and then in
Mhm.
Resurrection, he's, like, old and sick or whatever, and then I think even in Prometheus, I think that's Charlize Theron's dad, I think, because it's a prequel to Alien, is Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and they kind of
Right.
explain a little bit more about how the xenomorphs got created and stuff like that. They're not bad movies, dude. Much better than 3 and Resurrection for sure.
I liked Prometheus. I think I saw that with you in theaters.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't, like, amazing, but it was decent. But yeah, nothing can touch this, man. James Cameron really knows how to make a good
He
sequel.
he really he really put his eggs in this basket. You know, this could have ended his career if it went the wrong way. It really
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have.
but good cast, I mean, great special effects and, just a good writing, he really very tight story.
Yeah, and I read like Bill Paxton like got this role too because he ran into Cameron at like an airport or something. Like he did Terminator with him when he's like he's the guy with the knife. He goes fuck you asshole with the
Oh,
spiked
yeah.
hair, and he like ran into Cameron. He's like yeah I'm still looking for work. Like and Cameron's like oh cool, and he also just did what was it Weird
Weird
Science?
Science,
Yeah,
yeah.
Weird Science. So yeah, I like Bill Paxton a lot. It's a shame what happened to him at such a young age. So
Yeah. No, he was
Bummer.
great in this movie. Everybody was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say? Spin the wheel, Eric.
I think it's about that time. We're ending on a downer. R.I.P. Bill Paxton. But
We still have Bill Pullman.
We do. Spinning. Oh, Predator.
Whoa! All right. So we're going from xenomorphs to predators.
That's kind of funny. That happened. Okay.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Yeah, we don't have a guest for that one, so it'll just be you and I again. But thank you, everybody, for listening in, and we'll see everybody on Monday with Deep Blue Sea, and next Thursday with Predator.